break, guys. How wonderful. Come land in. So, as you arrive, as you land in onto your back, as you settle onto your mat, just notice the container of you. So the container of you is like the boundary of your skin, or the sense of the limits of your physical body. So maybe you feel the outer parts of your arms, your forearms clearly. Maybe you feel your shoulders, the outer parts of your legs, maybe your lower back, maybe your belly. Just notice, what are the patches of you or the places in you that you feel very clearly the boundary of you? You know, where do you feel your clothing right now? And where do you feel the floor beneath you right now? What are the planes of contact or the areas of contact for you? Where are the boundaries of your, well, it's just how you can be in your body. So it's almost like, can you feel the feeling of your fingertips? The feeling of the soles of your feet. The feeling of your face. You know, our hands, our feet, our faces, we're in contact a lot with the world through those places. And then just bring your awareness to your breath. So as you inhale down into your belly, as you exhale, let's get a sense of the insides of you. So there is another surface, there is the surface of your lungs on the inside. The lining of your lungs is a skin that is exposed to the air, a bit like the skin on the outside, but it's different, but it's still skin. Just get a sense of that, the spaces on the inside of you as you breathe. And then drop your awareness further into your belly, so that as you inhale and as you exhale, it's your belly that rises and it's your belly that falls. That there's a sense of the movement of your belly being a really important place of movement. It's a very, let it be soothing perhaps, or that you get a sense of yourself from your belly. A sense of connecting to how you are right now. And then from all the different layers of you that we spoke of, you know, your skin, the boundary, your clothing, the soles of your feet, your hands, your face, the the sense of the skin on the inside of your lungs, your belly, the contact with the floor. From all those different places, or perhaps from another place, where do you feel well right now? Where in you is there a sense of resource or resilience or okayness right now? Really find a place. Really focus on being in that place in your body. For me, somehow it's my cheekbones and the sweep of my skin across my cheekbones just feels really nice. It's just a random place within my body that feels like wellness. That's nice. So bending your knees and bring your feet to stand. So your feet are hip distance apart and they're resting on the floor. And just draw your lower back down and flatten into the floor. And as you arch, allow a small space between your lower back and the floor. And then draw your lower back down, flattening into the floor. And arching, allowing a space between the lower back and the floor. So as you flatten down and as you arch, how does this feel in your spine today? How is your body taking the movement or receiving the movement or creating the movement right now? Arching and flattening. One more time, arching and flattening. And now begin to roll up and down along your spine. So squeeze through your bum, lift through your hips, rising upwards. And then slowly, steadily rolling down. And as you roll down, feel like it's like a rolling pin, how I feel it down along the spine. So find your analogy and really enjoy the sensation of that. Maybe your back feels like a bag of potatoes in the beginning and it smoothens out as you go, or maybe it's like a knife spreading butter, or whatever it might be. Really find the sense of your spine as you roll up and down along your spine. Really enjoying the sensations of spine, of movement, of strength, of connection. Next time that you rise, stay up and just pause there, really squeezing through your buttocks. Draw your knees slightly a little bit more together. Push down a bit more into your heels and just get a sense of really lifting through the hips. And maybe draw your elbows a little bit down into the floor, widen your shoulders. The main thing is that your neck feels comfortable. And then whatever shape you're creating while your neck is comfortable, then that's a wonderful thing. Breathing down into your belly. Allow a sense of strength. There is work happening in your legs, but there shouldn't be pain in any place in your spine. Nice. Walk your feet a tiny little bit closer. So your feet just step your feet maybe an inch or two closer together. And then lower your bum 1 or 2 inches so you're taking the strain out of your hips or the fullness out of your hips. And then draw your right knee up towards your chest. And just pause there with your right knee moving towards your chest. Nice. Lower your right foot down to the floor. And then draw your left knee up towards your chest. Nice. And lower your foot down. Draw your right knee up towards your chest. And then straighten your right leg long. Roll out into your right ankle. Big circle with your foot. And then circle in the other direction. Nice. Bend your right knee and then interlock your fingers and hold on to your right shin. And squeeze your knee a little bit closer. And then just roll steadily up and down along your spine, holding on to your right knee. So as you rise, as you drop, you're just feeling into the deep of your spine, the strength of that left buttock, the left leg. Next time you rise, just pause. And then lower your right foot to the floor. Nice. Draw your left knee up towards you. Stretch your left leg up towards the ceiling. Roll out into your left ankle. Oh, the lovely legs. And then in the other direction. It's something very satisfying about Zoom, looking over and seeing these legs in the air. It's very wonderful. Bend your left knee and interlock your fingers and squeeze your left knee down towards you, keeping your bum in the air for the moment. And then slowly rolling down and then rising up. Rolling down and rising up. Nice, one more time. Rolling down and rising up. Nice. Lower your bum to the floor, lower your foot to the floor. Bring your arms out to the side and to across. And then just move your shoulders a little bit, like you're scratching your shoulders on the floor, like you're trying to itch your back a little bit. And just feel like, how would you scratch your shoulders a little bit on the floor there? And then stretch a bit wider into your shoulders and really feel like you're trying to make your arms as wide outwards as you can. Like, how would you really create some space in your chest? Because if we just do that movement straight from just drop your arms out to the side, you have your whole day sitting in your shoulders. So let's unpack our shoulders a little bit. Maybe a little bit more of a shimmy, a reach, a stretch. And now drop your knees down to the right. And as you drop them down to the right, keep your left shoulder on the floor. And then back up to center. And then drop your knees down towards the left and keep your right shoulder on the floor. And then back up to center. So let your knee stop before your shoulder rises. So rather than bringing your knee further so that your shoulder rises, stop your knee so that your shoulder won't rise. So just glide from side to side, keeping your shoulders really glued to the floor as you glide from one side to the other side. And just feel, for me, when I really keep my shoulders on the floor, there's something a little bit more that happens through the front of my belly, because I have to lengthen rather than rock my body. Nice. We're going to do the gliding twist. So drop your knees down towards the right. Keep your left shoulder really on the floor as you lift your left knee up so that your left foot comes to your right foot. Your left foot comes to your right knee. And then maybe your left knee travels up in the direction of your right shoulder. But keep the left shoulder wide and on the floor. Pausing there. Breathing into your belly. And then just slide your left foot back to the right foot. And then glide back up again. And just feel what happens in the whole left side of your body as you glide your left knee up and then your foot to the other foot. So you're just gliding on the right hand side with your left leg and you're repeating the same movement and just really feeling like you're deepening every time you're doing it. So what would be a deepening of this? A lengthening of the leg, a connection of the abdomen, a dropping of the shoulders even deeper into the floor. One more time, and actually try and bring your knee to your shoulder. What would you do to get your knee to your, I don't know if it's physically possible, but there's that sense of sometimes when you make the kind of the extra effort to do something that you're like, I wonder how I would do that. Suddenly your body starts to come up with all these connective strategies. It goes, oh, tuck in my belly, widen my shoulders, lean my hip, draw my shoulder. It's like it starts to create the possibilities that maybe it might happen. Nice. Come all the way back. Pause in the middle for a second. Just allow that left side to go blub, 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 blub. Nice. And then over to the other side. So drop your knees down towards the left. Keep your right shoulder. It just stays completely connected to the floor. And then glide your right foot up to the left foot and then to the left knee. And then up in the direction of your left shoulder. And just pause there. Knee is floating. Right shoulder is really solid on the floor. Nice. And then begin to glide. So right foot to your left foot, and then right knee up. How do you make this really smooth so that each part of the movement is very connected, and each part of the movement is like a full expression of the wellness of your body in that moment. So it's not just the end of the movement that is an expression of wellness, it's the whole range. Nice. Super cool. So the next time you bring your left knee or right knee up on the left hand side, pause there, really draw your right shoulder back, and then imagine that somehow you can get your right knee to your left shoulder. What does your body start to offer to you? So for me, it's like how would I do that? And it starts getting really interested in the puzzle that I've presented to it. It's trying to work out, is that possible if I was to round a bit more, or lean a bit more, or drop a bit more? Notice what your body is offering. Nice. And then come all the way back. Both feet to the floor. Nice. For me there, I just had to shimmy my shoulders and I shimmied my hips, so I feel like I'm straight again, back in a line. And then just draw the right knee up onto your chest, hug it in, and stretch the left leg long till it floats just above the floor. So as you squeeze the right knee down, as you stretch long into the left leg, just get a sense of pulling your navel backwards and flattening into the floor. So I'm really connecting backwards on squeezing even backwards with the deepest, lowest part of my belly. Nice. And then stretch your left leg straight up towards the ceiling. And just have a sense of opening through the back of your leg. And then slowly lower your left leg down until your heel floats just above the floor. And again, from your belly, flatten into the floor and then lift your leg upwards. Nice. And then slowly lowering down, keeping your lower back glued on the floor as you lower down. And one more time. Keeping your lower back steady, lift your leg up. Nice. And then lower it down until it floats just above the floor. Point into your left toes and draw a circle with your left leg. Circling. Nice. And then circle in the other direction. Pointing deeply into that leg. Stabilizing. Nice. Come to center. Keep your toe pointed. Bring your leg as far to the left as it'll go. It's floating just above the floor. How far to the left does your left leg go? And then how far to the right does your left leg go? Nice. Bring your leg back to center. Bring your left hand to the front of the left thigh and open your right knee out towards the right. And just pausing there. Your right hand is on your right knee. You're opening the right knee out to the side. And you're widening your shoulders and drawing the mid-back and the lower back a little bit deeper into the floor. Nice. Bring both knees back up to center. And then just circle with your knees like there's a clock on the back of your pelvis. You can have your hands on your knees, or you can bring your elbows to the floor and stabilize into the floor. That would be my preferred way of doing that. Let's see what you want. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. Butterfly knees. So keeping your toes together, widen your knees, and then your toes travel down towards the floor. Draw your knees together and back up towards your chest. So you're rolling in a deep circle with your hips. But your lower back is not rolling your lower back. So your lower back is straight and steady, and your knees are widening and your knees are coming back together. So butterfly knees is the rolling into the hips more so than the rolling into the lower back. Change the direction. Roll your knees in individual circles in the other direction. Nice. Bring the soles of your feet together, reach down and pull your feet towards your belly. And just pause there, breathing down into your belly. Nice. Just rock from side to side, holding on to your feet. Nice. And then lower your right foot to the floor with your knee bent and squeeze the left knee up onto your chest, hug it in. So your left knee is up on your chest, and then straighten your right leg long until it floats just above the floor. So your right leg is stretching long and strong, and you're squeezing the left knee down towards you. Super. Stabilize into the lower back, really flattening down. See if you can find the lowest part of your belly and kind of scoop the lowest part of your belly backwards. And then slowly lift the right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Nice. And then lower your right leg down until it floats just above the floor. Try and keep the lower belly engaged the whole time. Stretch your right leg up towards the ceiling. Keeping the lower belly engaged. Lower it down. One last time. Stretch your leg up. Lower belly engages. And then lowering down. Nice. Point through your toes. And then draw your circle with your right leg. So you're circling. For me, there's always something really interesting on the lower part of the circle. The rising half is interesting, but the lower half is like something really cool happens in my hip when I do the lower half of the circle. So notice for you where is it interesting in the circle, and then circle in the other direction. Where is it interesting in the other direction? There's all these different sensations. It's not the same in all the different parts of the circle. Quite amazing how varied it can be. Nice. Keep your toe pointed. Draw out towards the right with your leg. And then over towards the left with your leg. Pausing there as far to the left as you can go. And then back to center. Strong down into your right heel. Bring your left hand to your left knee and your right hand to your right thigh. And open your left knee out to the side. Nice. Draw both knees together. Push your elbows into the floor. Roll like there's a clock on the back of your pelvis. Listening, hearing. And then roll in the other direction. Nice. Push your elbows into the floor. Keep your ankles together and your knees together. And now begin to draw your knees over towards the right, but don't let your left shoulder lift at all. So stop before your left shoulder lifts. My rib cage is lifting on the left, but not my shoulder. And then back. And again, drop your knees down towards the left, but keep your right shoulder down. As you keep your right shoulder glued on the floor. My rib cage is moving, but not my shoulder. And then do that again, over towards the right. Left shoulder is really steady. The focus is in the stabilizing of the left shoulder as the anchor of the posture. And then over towards the left with your knees. Right shoulder stays down. And back up to center. Awesome job. Bring your hands to your knees, and your knees are just straight up over your hips. Your calves are parallel to the floor into kind of a tabletop, they call this. And then push your hands into your knees and your knees into your hands. So you feel the sense of a push with your hands and knees. And then draw your knees as close to your chest as you can, but push with your hands as your knees come close towards you. And then as your hands push away, pull with your knees as your hands push away. So draw your knees close towards you, as close as your knees can come, but your hands are pushing. And then push your knees away, but your knees are pulling as far as you can. And so just draw your knees in. And then push your knees away. And draw your knees in. And push your knees away. One more time. And you should be shaking at this stage. Draw your knees in. And then push your knees away. Keep the right leg really steady. And lower the left arm. So push your right hand into your right knee and your right knee into your right hand. And then lower your left arm overhead. And you can keep your left knee bent if you want and tap the floor with your toes. Or you can stretch the left leg long if you wish. And then come back up to center. Push the left side. And then reach the right side. Either keep your knee bent or stretch your right leg long. Or you decide what you need. Connect the right side. Stretch the left side. And coming back up. Connect the left side. Reach the right side. And coming back up. One more time each side. It won't kill us. No, it won't. So great. Left side lengthens. You're connecting the right. And come back up. And then connect the left side. Right side lengthens. And coming back up. Nice. Lower your feet to the floor. Sigh. We finished it. How nice. And then just roll over onto your belly and land on your mat. And have your, in the beginning, have your elbows bent and your hands out to the side and your head is just a little bit off the floor. And then stretch your right arm long so it's straight out to the side. So your right arm is straight out to the side and my left elbow is bent. And then I'm going to bend my left knee and then lift my left foot off or left knee off the floor. And imagine that my left foot's going to come to my right hand. So I'm kind of flinging my left foot around the corner behind myself over towards my right hand. Go slowly with this. It's quite an opening in the chest, an opening into the shoulder, an opening into the belly. And then rock back until you come to the floor. We're going to do the same side again. So lift the left knee off the floor. And then reach your left foot towards your right hand. And just feel like your left foot, is really inquiring. It's like, where is the distance that feels like wellness for me? And then come back and land on your belly. Nice. Change sides. Bend the right elbow. Stretch the left arm out to the side. And then bend the right knee. And send the right foot behind you and around the corner. So you're imagining that your right foot is going to come towards your left hand. My right hand is on the floor. It's just a kindness to have your elbow bent, because if you stretch your arm long, then it exaggerates the stretch into your rib cage as well. So your elbow bent just gives a sense of softness into the right side. Nice. Bring your belly to the floor, pausing there. And we'll do it again, same side. Bring your right foot in the direction of your left hand. And coming all the way back to center. So bend both knees and bend both elbows. So we're going to rock and roll a little bit. So stretch the right arm long, keeping both knees bent. Bring your left foot over towards your right hand. Both knees are bent. Okay, and then come back up to center. Bend both elbows. Stretch your left arm long, and then over towards the left with your right hand. And then just rock from side to side. The arm that's straightening is the side that you're moving towards. You're just really allowing a sense of leaning, opening, lengthening into the belly, softening into the belly. Allow your shoulders to soften, so let them take the length that's been offered to them. It's almost like as you rock, really feel like you're looking in the direction your head is pointed in. So if my left arm is long, my head turns towards the right, and I really open my eyes and look towards the right. And that somehow allows my chest and my shoulder to lengthen and open a little bit more. I'm a bit more conscious of turning my head and gazing directly in front of me. One more time each side. Just feeling that. Lengthening. And last side. Lengthening. Nice. Come lie on your belly. Elbows are bent. Head is resting on your hands. And just let all of that settle. Finding your breath. Feeling your shoulders, that area in the front of your shoulders, feeling your lower back, your belly. Nice. So bring your elbows to the floor beside you, and then bring your hands to the floor. So your hands are slightly wider than your mat, and come up onto the fingertips of your hands. Tuck your chin in and lift your toes off the floor. So we're doing the setup. The setup is that my back is engaged and strong before I go anywhere. So my toes have lifted off the floor. I'm squeezing my bum. My chin is tucked in deeply. Oh, my fingertips are on the floor. And then push your fingertips down and begin to reverse your shoulders backwards. And then slowly lower down. But at no stage are you lifting your head to look forward. You're keeping your chin tucked in. So just push with your hands and allow your chest to rise. And keep imagining that your shoulders can move a little bit more away from your shoulders, away from your ears. So really draw your shoulders away from your ears as you rise. And then as you lower. Nice. One more time. Rise. And then lower. Nice. Push your elbows into the floor. Tuck your chin in deeply. And it's your belly you lift first. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing my elbows down and then push my knees down and lift my belly first. So my head is down on my hands practically. And my belly has lifted. And then reverse your bum backwards. And then walk backwards into your cat pose. So you're in your cat pose. And then rounding your back, tuck your chin under. Lifting your chest, arching your back, look forward. Rounding your back, tuck your chin under. Lifting your chest and looking forward. Nice, one more time. Rounding your back. Lifting your chest and looking forward. Come to a neutral spine and just squeeze your shoulders back. And then push your shoulders forward. So you're just doing the shoulder shrug. And you're trying to do the shoulder shrug in a really strong way. So you're trying to imagine the full strength of your shoulders squeezing backwards and then pushing forwards. Squeezing backwards and pushing forwards. Squeezing backwards. Your arms are staying straight, pushing forward. And then bend your elbows just a little bit and just find the point where, so I'm not struggling, but I can feel, oh, my arms are strong when I'm here. And then straighten your arms and lift your shoulders high in your shoulder shrug. And then bend your elbows just a little bit. So your face is a little bit closer to the floor, your bum is sticking out. You feel the effort in your chest and arms, but I'm not like struggling, but I can feel I'm strong. And then push and lift your shoulders away from the floor. We'll do it again. Bend your elbows. Feel you're strong. Straighten your arms. Push. Bend your elbows. Your movement is probably getting smaller as we do this. We're fatiguing. One last time. Bend your elbows. And then lengthen. How nice. So tuck your toes under. And then just round your lower back. So your shoulders aren't really moving. And then arch your lower back. So you're just trying to move the lower back. So round your lower back and arch your lower back. So how do you move from the rounding into the arching? And it's only the pelvis and the tailbone that's moving. There is some movement, of course, up into the spine, but you're trying to really keep it that it's your pelvis that's moving. Nice. So then round your back and lift your knees off the floor. Just feel that. And try and round your back a little bit more when your knees are lifted. And staying there. Super. Drop your knees to the floor. Arch your lower back, not your chest, your lower back, and then lift your knees off the floor. And then lowering down. So there's two different ways we can do this. One is that you drop your knees down between every movement. So we'll start with that one. So round your lower back, lift your knees, drop them down, arch your lower back, lift your knees, drop them down. Round your lower back, lift your knees, drop them down, arch your lower back, lift your knees, drop them down. Stay doing that if that feels strong enough, or let your knees float. Round your lower back, stay floating, arch your lower back, round your lower back, arch. One last time. Round and arch. Woo. Rest all the way down into your child's pose. Tuck your arms in and rest yourself down. Really pull your arms back in beside you. Let them rest. I love the way I get obsessed with certain movements. I'm really into those shoulder shrugs and pelvic tilts at the moment. And I kind of want, and then suddenly it'll be something else that we'll be doing, and then there will be something, and then one day I'll remember that and I'll go, oh, there's that amazing thing we used to do. It's so nice, really, just kind of making it up as we go along. So nice. Right, so bring your hands forward into your hands and knees, cat pose, and then push back into your downward dog. So as you push back into your downward dog, just find the length of you, the stretch of you. So pull your heels down, stretch long into your legs, and really feel that rising up onto your toes and then the pulling backwards. Rising up onto your toes and pulling backwards. And stretch your right foot up towards the ceiling and find the length of your leg moving upwards. So push a bit extra into the right hand as you stretch up into the right leg. And then step the right foot forward between your two hands. Hop, skip, jump, help your foot forward in whatever way you need to. And when you're here, let's just really listen to our hips. So come up onto your fingertips and stretch into the back leg and lift your hips a little bit. So straighten the front leg a little bit. And then drop a bit deep down so you're here. The places that are, I'm going to say, twangy or that speak to you. And see if you can really embrace the whole of your leg more so than the places. So rather than just noticing, I always give the analogy, rather than just noticing the dishes in your kitchen, notice the beauty of your kitchen. So instead of noticing the marks on the window, notice the whole window. So notice the whole leg rather than just the places that are tight. And kind of almost like you have a bow and you're playing your whole leg as a violin or something, rather than just being one string. You're trying to hear the whole left leg as you lengthen into it. Now, step back into your downward dog. Find your length again. And then stretch your left foot up towards the ceiling. And push a bit extra into your left hand as you stretch backwards. And then step forward with your left foot between your hands. And again, let's play the stretch of the right leg. So lift your lunge a little bit and then sink it down. Notice where the stretch or the twang or the extra sensation begins to emerge in that right leg. And then feel the whole of your leg rather than just that place. Feel your knee, the shape of the leg, the whole of it, like the amazing length of it, the bones of it, the muscles, the skin, the clothing on it. You feel the whole of your leg. Now step back into your downward dog. Super cool. So stretch your right foot up towards the ceiling, reaching high. And step your right foot forward between your hands. Turn your back foot at a 45-degree angle and bring both hands to your front knee and rise up. And so your back leg is straight, your front knee is bent. And then bend your front knee a little bit more. So rest your hands on your thighs and bend your front knee a little bit more. So you feel like suddenly there's loads more strength happening in that front leg. And then from here, bring both hands and really reverse your torso backwards and reach your fingers up towards the ceiling. So your back leg is straightening, your fingers are reaching up, and you're trying to bend your knees a little bit more as you reach upwards. So your front knee is bent, you're extending up through the torso, and try and find the reach of your arms. So earlier we were really opening the shoulders, so see if you can find that length into the torso and up into the fingertips. So your belly is lengthening, your fingers are rising. Lovely. And then lower your hands all the way down, bring your fingers either side of that front leg, and then step back into your downward dog. And having a bit of a wiggle. Bending one knee, bending the other knee. And then step the left foot forward between your hands. So bring both hands to the front knee. Bend your front knee a little bit more and really lean into that front leg as you straighten deeply into the back leg. And draw your shoulders back and then reach your fingers up towards the ceiling and just have a sense of leaning upwards from your belly into your fingertips. As you reach, as you open, as you lengthen, as you open even more, as you almost feel like you're reaching, surging, gliding upwards. Nice. Lower your arms down, either side of that front leg, and then step back into your downward dog. Have a sense of length, bending one knee, bending the other knee, bending both knees, stretching both legs. Nice. Drop both knees to the floor. And then come sit on the floor with your legs long in front of you. Nice. So so what you're going to do is you're going to bring your feet actually really wide. So your feet are as wide as you can naturally go. So when you rock from side to side, just see if you can almost walk your bum a little bit forward so that you feel more length into your inner thighs. Nice. Reach your fingers wide. And interlock your fingers and really find the sense of reach or length up into your tops of your knuckles. The arms are squeezing towards your head, and then reach down into your heels and get really long into your legs. Nice. And then lean a little bit over towards the right. And then back up to center. And then lean a little bit over towards the left. And back up to center. Lean a little bit towards the right. Center. And then lean a little bit towards the left. And center. And keep your arms near your ears and just draw a circle with your knuckles towards the four corners of the room. Really feel like you're trying to draw a circle into the corners of the room or where the wall and the ceiling meet. Nice. And then circle in the other direction. Listening. So there may be some places where you go, oh, there's a twang there. So this range of motion is one that, it's really interesting, really finding places in our bodies that we don't move all that much. Nice. Bend your elbows, bring your hands behind the back of your head, drop your left elbow down. Almost imagine that you're going to try and bring it down to the floor. And come back up. And then drop the right elbow down. Imagine that you can bring it to the floor. And then come back up. Left elbow down. And back up. And then right elbow down. And back up. One more time. Left elbow down. And back up. And right elbow down. Nice. And back up. Great. Bring your arms to the floor in front of you. And then walk your hands forward. And just find the place your chest is still up, your head is still up. And then drop your head forward. Maybe bring your head down in the direction of the floor. Maybe bring your elbows forward. Maybe walk your hands a bit further. And then just wiggle your feet a little bit. So feel like you're leaning from one bum to the other bum. Almost lift one bum up the floor and then the other. So ultimately, range of motions aren't as interesting as the ability to move. Ability to move is the most important thing. And then the amount of flexibility you have is bonus. But how do you move when you're there is really important, because it's like there's no perfect way to do anything. There's no one way to do anything. There's discovering your way to do something. Nice. And then walk your hands so they're all the way over until one hand is on the either side of the right leg. Nice. And then bring your left hand to your right leg and slide it down a little bit further. And then slide it back. So you're going to slide the left hand up and down the right leg. Down and then back up. And then down. And my right hand on the floor is really supporting me. It really feels like it's solid, it's connected. Yes, and one more time. Reaching. And coming back up. Nice. Other side. Walk both hands either side of the left leg. And then slide the right hand down the left leg. And then back up. And just feel that sense of the sliding, the reaching is really important. You can hear how your torso and your rib cage and your shoulder are really feeling and taking that movement. Wow, it's so incredible for your rib cage and the lower back. Nice. And come back to center. Bend one knee, bring the sole of your foot so that the baby toe edge of your foot is resting on the floor. And then the other knee. So there's maybe around 2 feet between your heels and your pubic bone. Sitting up tall. And then just hold on to your shins and find the length of your spine. So for me, when I pull on my shins, I feel like my shoulders are drawn down, my neck gets longer, my chest can rise, and I pop forward slightly. Oh, it's so great. So soles of your feet are facing each other, around 6 inches between your feet. And then from here, just rock your bum so that it lifts and that your right foot comes to stand on the floor. And then just lean from side to side. So one bum lifts and that foot comes to stand. And then one bum lifts and the foot comes to stand. So what you're doing is kind of leaning into one leg and the other foot is standing. And then leaning into one leg and the other foot is standing. So you're just holding on to your shins still as you do this. Just rocking from one side to the other. Nice. And now you're going to reach your hands forward, just straight forward as you do it. So you're just rocking from one side and really try and lift your bum. How high can I lift my bum? And so really feel that there's effort in the deep of your buttocks, in the deep of your lower back, and you're really leaning more and more weight into the leg that's landing on the floor. Nice. And so now you're going to imagine that you can stand up from here. So lean over towards the right. And then, like, how would you stand up from here? Like, just feel it. Like, go, what would I need to do? So for me, I want to bring my right hand down. So bring your right hand down to the floor. And then how would you rise into standing from here? So what would you have to do? So just notice, you're not going to come up to standing, just begin the process. How would you begin the process of standing up from here? So for me, I have to lean into the right hand, I fling my left hand a bit more forward, and then I transfer my weight and lift my bum. So just feel, how do you do that? And how do you lift? Nice. Nice. And then we'll try the other side. So lean over towards the left. And just before you bring your hands down, just go, how would I stand from here? And automatically my body goes, left hand down, and you can stand from here. And I go, oh, thanks. And so just notice, how would you stand? And so the movement forward is really important. It's not up, it's forward. The weight has to change into your feet from your bum, and that's what's going to help you lift. So you're either lifting your whole leg or you're rocking onto the left knee. Either or. Nice. And then come all the way back. Stretch both legs out forward in front of you. How cool. Roll into your ankles, roll into your wrists. And then roll in the other direction. Rolling in a big circle. Open your fingers wide. Make fists. Open your fingers wide. And make fists. Nice. Come land on the floor. So bending your knees and come all the way down and land on the floor. So your feet are flat on the floor, your spine is long. Nice. Bring your arms wide beside you again. So they're straight out into a cross or a T. Stabilize your shoulders into the floor. And then walk your thighs so they're really close together. And then cross your right leg over the top of the left leg. And then draw your shoulders down, glue the back of your hands into the floor, and drop your right knee, both knees down towards the right, and keep your left shoulder on the floor. Nice. Come back up to center. And then slowly drop your knees down towards the left. So the left side, is it harder or is it easier? For me, it's harder to stop my knees to stabilize my shoulder. I could fall easier on this side. My shoulder could just lift very easily on this side. So just I have to be really steady and slow. Also feels deeper into my knee and into my pelvis. Nice. Come back up to center. Right, change. Both ankles are together. Cross the left thigh over the top. And then drop down towards the left first. All the way down towards the left. And just notice in your pelvis how this is. Nice. And then come all the way back up to center. Keep your shoulders on the floor. And then slowly drop your knees down towards the right. And just notice how this is different in your body as you try and keep your shoulder on the floor. Again, for me, this is this shape of legs over towards this side is the harder side for me to move. And it's interesting, like you might find that this is the easier way for you to move because of the way you're made. It's always so fascinating. Nice, come back up to center. Right. Drop your knees wide, bring the soles of your feet together. And just drop your hands to your belly. For me, I shimmy and shift and place my lower back a bit deeper on the floor. And then just sink a bit deeper into the floor with your breath. As you inhale. As you exhale. Just let that settle. Letting your breath deepen down into your pelvis, down into the deep of your belly, down into your hands. So every breath you take, you're really softening and sinking and deepening. Slowly draw your knees up towards each other. And then you have the option of either staying there with the soles of your feet on the floor with your knees bent, or you can stretch your legs out long, or you can put a pillow underneath your knees, or you can get a blanket, or you can see what you need. Leave lie on your belly. I know one of you likes lying on your belly. So see if you want to do whatever you need to do and just find your way to settle and land. And then just feeling down into the breath, down into your belly. Just let yourself soften and settle. Allowing your breath to be soft, in through the nostrils, out through the nostrils. Allowing your exhalation to be longer than your inhalation, or making your exhalation longer than your inhalation. Really allowing a sense of squeezing, lengthening, 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 lengthening of the exhalation. Nice. So just begin to stretch through your fingers, reach through your toes. Just find whatever way you lengthen or you awaken. How do you arise? Noticing the quality of your body right now after moving. The quality of your mind, of your skin, of your muscles. How does it sense? How does it feel into your belly? How does it feel into your breath? Slowly, either rolling over or rolling up, or do whatever it is that you do. And then slowly, rising all the way up.